How are we all doing? All right. So today I'm going to play a bit of Eric Clapton, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers and talk about an influence I didn't know they even had. So here we go. One more. Thank you. If you got to the end of that, then you're still listening. So, earlier in the week, we heard the sad news of John Mayall, who's a great blues British pioneer. He played like guitar, piano, harmonica and sung. And yeah, sad times really, because the British blues invasion, everything, he was a big part of that. And I watched the Eric Clapton tribute to him yesterday. And without realising it, I was influenced by John Mayall. I always thought it was Eric Clapton. Well, it was, but it was both of them, if that makes sense. And this is what this is about today. It's a bit about influences and going back further than the influences you thought you had. And just finding out where the roots of music come from. And this tune now I just played, that was Hideaway by Freddie King. I hope it was him. I haven't checked if it's anyone further back than him. Anyway, so Eric Clapton was talking about, I didn't know this, John Mayall. Like when Eric Clapton was a young man, 18, 19, he was actually thinking of quitting music at that young age. Imagine that. I mean, he must have been pretty pissed off to think, oh, I'm going to pack music in. Because really, his journey had only just started. Yeah, I couldn't think. That was so exciting times for me at that age, playing music. And he was talking about, I think he said he was drinking a lot then. And John Mayall kind of took him in and let him stay at his house. And, you know, just taught him about the blues, the old Chicago blues players, and, you know, just gave him an insight into that music. Which if it hadn't been, we might have not had Eric Clapton who he is today. Because he's influenced Eric Clapton, etc., etc. And that album with the Beano, with Eric Clapton sitting on the front, reading a comic. I think when he was reading that as well, he's supposed to have not wanted to have even been there. I've read Clapton's book and he was like, he was just doing it in protest. That's what I think I read in a book. Could be wrong, but that's what I read. That's a few years going on today now. So, the point I'm making is, I was influenced by Clapton. Blues is a big influence on me in my early days. And I first found this album, it was like a Sunday, And back in the late 80s, like on a Sunday, nothing used to go on. All the shops were shut. You couldn't go anywhere, do anything. You'd go out on your bike. You'd just have the newsagents open in the morning, so people could go and get their paper. Used to go and get sweets and that. It's a bit like Christmas Day, but it's more open now on Christmas Day, if that makes sense. So I think it was like a rainy Sunday, setting up the store here. I was bored, didn't have like all our computers and that then. It was just, we knew no different anyway. I'm downstairs in the living room, or the front room we called it, because it's the front of the house. Dad had his like LP player and all that, like his vinyl. So my dad was 74 the other day. So, and in this big old wooden cabinet, there was all these old albums, obviously he'd bought when he was young, all the way going back, all the way through. And I just, when I was younger, I used to take no notice of it really. Dad used to put the music on, but obviously I was into guitar. That was when it became my little mini library. So when I was bored, I'd go downstairs, have a flick through. Oh, what's this one? Go upstairs, look at the album, like all the pictures, read it, put it on, see if I liked it. And I'd find all sorts in there. Led Zeppelin, Cream, Hendrix, you know, all the old good classic rock stuff. And then one day I was going through and I thought, what's this one? I haven't seen this one before. Not realising, first of all, until I read, oh, Eric Clapton, the Cream of Eric Clapton, because Dad had that album. And some others like, oh, what's this one? Never heard this one of Clapton. So up I went upstairs, put it on, and yeah, that was my first introduction into the blues. I was listening to that album and the sound of a Les Paul cranked up for a Marshall Blues Breaker. And then from there, I thought, wow, that's the sound of just that, you know, just got me. And that's why I'm talking about influences, because I always thought that was an Eric Clapton track for years, like, not recently, but when I first heard it, because we didn't have no resource to find out who wrote it, really. And then you find out, obviously, John Mayall probably suggested it for him to do in the band. So, me, influenced by Clapton, Clapton influenced by John Mayall, and that track is a Freddie King song. So then all of a sudden, you go back into the Freddie King catalogue, and then you find loads of cool tracks there. So, basically, the moral of the story is, if you find someone you like musically, check out their history, their influences, because as you go back, you will find that 9 times out of 10, the person you like, you end up liking their influences as well. So it opens up another massive thing of learning the guitar. All right then, hope that helps, and see you soon. Cheers, bye.